What I thought was interesting was in these two games that we saw from Chelsea, where we talked about how Chelsea they've blown hot and cold for the last 3 months?
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
And it looks like Tuchel keeps trying to find the right balance and whatever. He moved to a 4 when his wing backs out, and we saw it again in a 3. It doesn't seem to be coming together. I mean, they beat Al Hilal in the semifinal. They beat Palmeiras in the final. I think both deserved victories, but really tight games.
Yeah. But would you not expect it to be tight when you're playing for something like that? When you're playing, say, the continent's best and so on, you would expect it to be tight. For Chelsea, for as good as they are, I think we, at times, are guilty of just saying, well, this is Chelsea, so they must win, they have to win. But this is the title. Abramovich has never won this, has he? This is the first time winning it, I believe. So there's no walkover, is it?
I guess what I'm driving at is you have much better players than the opposition. You have much more highly paid players than the opposition.
Yeah.
You're the European champion.
Yeah.
And still, over those two games, no matter how hard fought the games were, you didn't dominate. Now, was that because Palmeiras, especially in this final, they set up to kind of create this war of attrition? I thought they were quite defensive, played on the counter, and unless Chelsea get an early goal, they're not in that place right now, especially when Mount going off in the first half, where they necessarily have that they're not the well-oiled machine, chance creation machine that other clubs are.
No, I would agree with that, but then I don't think they ever really have been under Tuchel, but they've won games and they've controlled games in a certain manner. I don't think they're the side where you expect to see them score 4 or 5 goals, even with Lukaku and so on playing, but they still find ways to win. That's how they've won a Champions League. That's how they're in the position that they're in now. And I think, again, you need to give credit to the opposition, I feel, because what they did is they don't play into Chelsea's strengths. And as a consequence, they try and change the game to make it more of a war of attrition. And to add to it, even though Chelsea have more talent, essentially, or in our opinion, the other team still has enough talent to be able to beat you. And that's the reality of football. And I think sometimes we do forget that.
I think we both agree that I think it's obviously multiple factors. There's a lack of chemistry in the attack because people keep getting injured, moving in and out. Lukaku's very different from Werner when he plays. Ziyech is very different from Pulisic. It just all keeps changing, and it's difficult to build those patterns of play. And obviously midfield as well. When you've got Jorginho, Kovacic, and Conte, they're all great, but they're all really different. Yeah. So if you play Kovacic and Conte like they did in the final, you lose something. If you play in place of Kovacic, you lose something. Right?
Yeah.
Now Tuchel having COVID, meaning that he has to self-isolate. He only flew in just hours, I think, before this game. How big a setback is it not having your manager there? Or do you generally think it's not really that big a deal because in training, he just tells his servants and they go and execute?
I think it depends, firstly, if you like him. If you don't like him, he's like, he's got to isolate. Oh, that's such a shame, such a shame. But
right.
But genuinely,
would you have missed Mancini if he'd been isolating?
Yeah, let's not get into that. But anyway, I would say for Tuchel, the videos that I've seen, he can be quite hands-on in terms of the way that he coaches. And for some people, that can be quite intense, but it's very direct because you can't help but pick up on exactly what he wants based on how he's saying things and how he's delivering it to you. Because sometimes with these managers, they'll literally grab you by the shoulders and put you in the right place. So you'll miss that because an assistant coming over and doing it doesn't have the same effect because the plan feels like it comes down from the top and he's the top and the assistants are there to try and aid in that. But I think at the end of the day, for Chelsea, the style of play, it doesn't change that much. So I think they might have missed certain things in terms of his character, personality, people speaking to him and so on. But it should be just finer details as you go into games. It shouldn't be like wholesale changes, should it? So I don't think it's that big a deal.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.